Welcome to the SoberQ podcast.
Hi, my name's Pam. I'm an alcoholic. The question is, why do we need complete abstinence from alcohol? Something I heard when I first came into AA was, don't have the first drink and you won't get drunk. I thought this was quite nonsensical. I didn't get drunk on the first drink. It was the 7th or the 10th or whenever. However, I came to understand that once I had the first drink, I could never guarantee how many I would have, where I would end up, or my behaviour. The only way to ensure that I didn't get drunk was not to have the first one. In the early days, my drinking mirrored that of my friends. We drank on the weekends and often got drunk. But I was later to discover that not everyone had memory blanks while they were drinking, or blackouts, and not everyone experienced disproportionate shame and guilt about their behaviour. My big adventures in the world always involved booze and people who drank like I did. As my drinking accelerated, so did the turnover of friends. The geographical tours began with me moving from place to place, looking for the next thing that would be the answer to the way I felt. The problem was, wherever I went, I took myself with me, and as I came to realise when I got sober, I was the problem. I knew that my drinking was really out of control. I also knew that my life was a mess, but I really couldn't put those two things together. I blamed everybody else and thought that if you really understood me, you would realise why I needed to drink. I had no idea that most of my problems were caused by my drinking. I had one discreet stint in a detox where I was dried out and given a healthy diet, yoga and meditation. I believed that if I could straighten myself out, get some space and solve my problems, then I wouldn't need to drink like I had been. It worked. My life seemed to be back on track and I figured that I could now drink normally, and I could. Thought I had my problem solved. I was having the occasional drink and my life was okay. The delusion lasted for about 6 weeks. Then my drinking accelerated to even greater levels than before, and the problems were back in my life. The real positive that came out of this was now I knew that it wasn't just a matter of getting things together. So when I finally came to AA, I had learnt that for me, an alcoholic, the only way to guarantee that I didn't get drunk was total abstinence. I can never safely use alcohol in any form at all. I cannot start drinking without the risk of developing the phenomenon of craving. Once I start, I cannot stop. And without stopping, I cannot deal with the mental obsession and alcoholic thinking which I uncover once the alcohol is removed. Once I stopped drinking, I was able, with the help of the AA program and the people in AA, to create a happy, healthy and productive life. I learnt that there is a way of living that was impossible for me when alcohol rang my life. I came to understand that stopping drinking wasn't enough. If I wanted to live without that fear and guilt and loneliness that would inevitably lead me back to a drink, then I'd have to develop some different attitudes and approaches to life. After all, my way hadn't been too successful, had it? I have not had any cravings or even the slightest desire to drink for many years, but I have no illusions that one day that I could safely have just one. There's another saying that I've heard in AA that applies here. 1 drink is too many and 100 is not enough. That's why I stay happily abstinent today, because the life I have is just too fabulous to risk for just 1 drink.
If you would like to share your experience on a recovery question, visit the SoberQ podcast website at soberq.com. Thanks for listening.